going to go over some of the basic equipment we use while we're bow fishing. We're going to tell you why we use it. Some of the stuff you've seen us use in the video, we've switched because it just works better for us. First thing is the bow. Throughout the video, you see us shooting Oneida Eagle bows. At the time, they were the best bows out there for bow fishing. You could have low poundage and they gave a lot of punch. But as things progress, the people at AMS Bow Fishing have developed a bow, and they've gotten me to try it, and I really like it. You'll see when we were shooting tilapia, it makes long shots. Some of the good points of this AMS bow is, one, anybody can use it. It doesn't have a set draw length. You can draw it here, here, here. It's just basically everybody can use it. The other thing you see us using in the video a lot is a spin cast reel. I don't believe that is a reel that a beginner should start out with. I know they sell reels that you can wrap the line around. They're very cheap. I don't believe that is one for a beginner to start out with. What you want to start out with is an AMS retriever reel. Reason being, you don't have to push the button. When you shoot, the line goes out. It's got a zero drag. You push this lever right here, and you can reel in the line quite fast. When you let go, it's just like that. I mean, it's ready to shoot. So I believe for a beginner, you need to invest the money, buy an AMS reel for sure. They can put them on any bow. You can use your hunting bow. You can use a bow that you have laying on the side that you don't use, your spare bow. But it's just a really good investment, and I wouldn't suggest anybody just starting out to use anything but an AMS retriever. As far as the bow goes, if you're really going to get into bow fishing, I would say look into buying an AMS fish hawk. They come in a kit where you can buy the reel, the bow, some arrows, everything all included. Some things that I do that are different than other people, there's a lot of bow fishing rests out there. AMS sells one, Cajun sells one, Muzzy sells one. I don't use them. What I use is I basically take some epoxy putty, and I build it up, and then I make a groove with my arrow, and that's what I shoot. I just like it because in a lot of situations where I'm moving fast or and I can tilt my bow and it doesn't fall off, I like it because it keeps my arrow straight for precision shooting. But the other arrows rests are great. I mean, you can buy them, you can put them on different bows, and I wouldn't suggest shooting your hunting bow with your hunting rest because you do have some line and stuff to get tangled. And talking about tangling line, another advancement that has come out, and now you see me in the video, is we used to have the arrows tied off to the back, or the line tied off to the back of the arrow. It's not a very good idea, because what happens is when you shoot, your line will become tangled around your bow string, and the arrow could come back and hit you in the face, hit you in the eye, and it could possibly kill you. So AMS has come up with this slide system, and you tie your line on there, you leave a loop, and it slides up and down the arrow. It has a little stopper that keeps the slide from coming completely off your arrow. What makes this system really, really good is you can keep this line in front of your bow, in front of the bow, the riser. It stays out there. It's not getting hung up on anything. When you draw it back, you can see it stays right there. When you shoot, the arrow will come off the rest and it'll take the string out. So it is really a nice system. The only thing when you're using these slides is you have to remember, and it's something that people lose track of in the heat of the moment, but you have to make sure this slide stop, this little black stop that's on the back of your arrow, that has to stay up on top when you nock your arrow, because if you knock your arrow and it's on the bottom and you shoot, it'll hit your rest. It could tear it off, it could cause damage to your rest, and it'll flip your arrow up, causing you to miss the fish. So that's just some of the stuff we use as far as our bow and everything else. And you can get all this stuff from AMS Bow Fishing. Like I said, you can set your hunting bow up. You can buy one of their bows, but I really suggest you look into getting an AMS retriever reel. They're just maintenance free. Basically, they're hassle free. You don't have to remember to push a button. You can use different type lines. They have the slotted retriever. This is just a regular one. The one you see us shooting the stingrays and everything is set up a little bit different. Has a slot in here that allows the line to go all the way out. But for your basic everyday carp shooting, all you need is an AMS retriever. When I first started bow fishing, I had one. It lasted me for 5 years, and then I put it away, and I started shooting the spin cast reels, and now I've come back just because it serves my function better, and it also, because I shoot a lot of big fish. And the other thing is when I'm introducing new people into the sport, I want them to start shooting this reel, because it'll just make your trip that much more enjoyable. It'll be less stuff you have to worry about. And they're very adjustable as far as the height and how far in and out you want to put them. So they go on any bow. They also have an adapter if you want to put them on your recurve or your longbow. So that's basically the bow setups we use. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the arrow now. The arrow that I shoot the most is basically a solid fiberglass arrow. You don't want to shoot a hunting arrow or anything like that. It doesn't have the mass to help deliver the energy through the water. So just a regular fiberglass arrow is great. They have different styles, different colors, anything you could want. The other thing I use is a Sure Shot fish point. And the reason I use that is because when you're in a fish and you're in a stingray or a shark or anything, or even carp, all you have to do is you just give the arrow about a half a twist, and these barbs will turn around, allowing you to pull it out of the fish. Some of the other arrows out there, you got to take the tip completely off, or numerous things to do, but this is really the best. The barbs hold really well, they don't bend. A few years ago, Ron switched his barbs to make them a little bit heavier duty. It's one of the problems we thought he had, and he fixed that. So basically, he advertises, and this is the world's best fish point. Has a lifetime guarantee. I don't think any other fish point out there has that. A couple of things I like about it, like I said, is just if you're trying to get that out of a fish, it won't come. You give that arrow half a turn, and barbs turn basically right around, and it's just really perfect. A couple other things I like is he has two different styles. One is just basically the old style Sure Shot fish point. This one is a Sure Shot Penetrator. And one thing I like about that is if it gets dull, it has a removable trocar hardened tip, and you can have a pocket full of them, and if you hit a rock, you can change it out. So that is very interchangeable there. If you would happen to break a barb, you just send the tip into Ron, he'll fix it. But in the meantime, you could have just spare tips to screw on and off your arrows, the barb point there. Nobody else offers that. Another thing I like to do is, when we're sitting at home, I have purchased some points from Ron with no barbs, and you can get them too, it's special order, but he'll do it for you. Ron's a great guy. And we screw these on our arrows, and you can basically practice shooting into the ground. You can shoot into your archery target, really get to know how these arrows shoot. And when it comes time to go out bow fishing, just screw your practice tip off, grab your bow fishing point, screw that on, and you're ready to go. You don't have to retie an arrow or anything like that. So that's basically the setup I use. I'm not going to get in depth about boats or anything else, because that's just kind of a preference on how people want to set their boats up. I will tell you, if you're out during the day, you want to be up higher so you can see better. At night, there's really no sense to being up high with the lights on the boat. You want to be right down as low to the water as you can possibly get. That way your shots are closer. That's pretty much all we have to tell you about equipment. If you have any questions, you can go on to amsbowfishing.com. They have a forum there, or you can email them. They'll answer any questions. You can go on to my forum, which is bowfishingforum.com, and we'll answer any question that you have. So it's just a matter of getting started, getting the right setup. It'll be a lot of enjoyment, and then from there you can build on what tips you really want to use, what bow you really want to use, and everything like that. All it is get out there and have some fun. Thanks.